This is the Southside School of Financial Freedom Market Report and small account update for the week ending June 15th, 2024. The market finished mixed this week. The Dow Jones Industrial Average decreased minus 0.15% on Friday and was down minus 0.54% for the week. The S&P 500 decreased minus 0.04% on Friday but was up 1.58% for the week. The Nasdaq increased 0.12% on Friday and was up 3.24% for the week. Looking at the week, we can see that there were 10 up finishes versus 5 down finishes for the major indexes. On Monday, all the major indexes finished up. On Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average finished down, while the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq finished up. And on Friday, it was the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500 that finished down while the Nasdaq finished up. How did you do? My small account finished 2.06% higher and generated cash flow of 0.59%. Even when the market falls and or my account doesn't do well, I still get income or cash flow by selling covered calls and naked puts. This method does not only guarantee cash flow or income, it can also beat the S&P 500. I use a watch list to determine which options of stocks that I want to sell. A stock has to meet 5 criteria to be on my trading watch list. I will not reveal what my criteria are, but if you examine my list, you may be able to figure out the criteria for yourself. The last row, however, is my benchmark row. That is, I measure my performance against gold, silver, and the S&P 500. Looking at my watch list from the week, the strongest performer on the list was Cipher Mining Incorporated, ticker symbol CIFR. It's in the third column. It was down minus 0.8% on Friday, but increased 22.83% for the week. Cipher Mining develops and operates 4 industrial scale Bitcoin mining data centers in Texas, one of which is a 207 megawatt facility located in Odessa, Texas, that can produce 6.4 exahash per second. The company's chief data mining center is a 10 megawatt facility in near Andrews, Texas, that is also connected to the local electrical grid. Looking at a summary of results, you can see that CIFR has increased almost 20% year to date. I generated cash flow from CIFR mining. This week, I generated cash flow from selling 2 different option contracts. They were 2 calls, one for $4.34 and one for $19.34. So it was on Friday that I sold a call for $4.34 and a call for $19.34. That's a total of only $23.68, which is not a lot of money, but the account is small. $23.68 in cash flow was 0.59% of my account value. With this system, this money is free and clear. You can take it out of your account and spend it or leave it in to build your cash balance and or invest it. Oh, you think the amount is too small? Well, if you want to increase the amount of cash flow, just use a larger account. For example, to 10x the cash flow to $236.80, use a larger account and instead of selling one of everything that I sold, sell 10. This strategy is guaranteed to produce cash flow immediately and every week that it is applied. However, it does not guarantee the amount of cash flow from week to week nor the value of your account. The amount varies and the account value varies. Despite the variations in amount and value, the goal is to generate cash flow and beat the S&P 500. And that is what I am openly showing you every week as it happens. Note, most professional money managers and their strategies do not consistently beat the S&P 500 every year. They usually lose, and they usually lose by a lot. Last year, this method beat the S&P 500 by about 12%, but in 2024, my account is down minus 13.46% versus 14.19% up for SPY, which is an S&P 500 ETF. That's a difference of 27.66%. So I am losing to the S&P 500 by over 27.5%. It is not unusual to beat the S&P 500 one year and then lose to the index the next year. Will I befall this same fate as most professional money managers? It does look like it. I'm still trailing the S&P 500 by a lot. But I am confident that I will slowly gain on the S&P 500. Tune in next week to find out what happens. Bitcoin watch. Bitcoin lost minus 4.52% this past week, but it is in a bull market as it is trading near all-time highs. It is up just over 58% year to date. Some people believe, and I am one of them, that Bitcoin is the most transformative financial asset in 1,000 years. So I think the best course of action is to dollar cost average, that is DCA, into the S&P 500 and DCA into Bitcoin at a 30 to 70% ratio for the next 10 years and or up to when you have invested at least $10,000. In fact, I have implemented a similar strategy where I have a portfolio with over 85% in a Bitcoin ETF, and it is up 3.19%. What do you think? What is your strategy? Do you know how to produce cash flow every week and beat the S&P 500? Do you invest in Bitcoin, which may prove to be the smartest investment of the decade? As you develop, analyze, and implement your strategy, please check back to see how my small account and my Bitcoin dominated account performs against the S&P 500 from week to week by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you.